Hola everyone, and welcome to Open. I'm Rina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche. Every Friday, here's what's coming up in today's show. First up is producer and director Anthony James Faure, here to talk about stories that center around cultural identity, migration, and the power of language. Then we're joined by yoga fitness instructor and owner of Ofrenda Yoga Studio, Jazmin, Tejada, who's here to enlighten us about the transformative power of yoga. And after that, award-winning voiceover and film actor Summer Rose Castillo is here to talk about her recent success as the voice of Alma in Alma's Way. And finally, today's Open Artist Spotlight shines on director and founder of Musicians Teach Music, Holley Bartlett, who's closing out the show with a singing accompaniment by Annie Chester. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is headed your way because now we are officially open. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. I'm Rina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche for the next hour, inviting you to get social with us online. That is, follow us on Instagram at Bronxnet TV or like us on Facebook at Open Bronxnet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow me on FB, Instagram, Insta Stories, Threads, and LinkedIn at Rina Valentin. So my first guest is a New York-based Venezuelan and French filmmaker. He's primarily known for his work as a producer and director on independent feature films, commercials, and short-form projects, drawing on his extensive international experience in the U.S., France, Saudi Arabia, the U.K., and the Caribbean. And being fluent in English, Spanish, and French, he focuses on stories deeply informed by themes of cultural identity, migration, and language. His production work runs parallel to his experience as a writer and director, with several short films to his credit, as he co-wrote and directed the indie feature Kids with Guns. And most recently, serving as producer, he wrapped up shooting the much-anticipated dramedy Hurricane Season, starring Ida Rodriguez, Justina Machado, and Carlos Ponce. Here to share more, we welcome producer and director Anthony James Faure. Hello and welcome.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Oh my! So, wow, you are a continental independent filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Bravo.
Gracias.
Yes, that Venezuelan and French.
Yep, both. A low mix.
Yeah.
Born in Venezuela and then grew up in France I lived in Paris for about 15 years before I came to New York.
Nice, interesting combination.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so let's share a little bit about your background with regards to how your cultural identity has also serves your occupation.
Yeah, so born in Venezuela, mom British, Venezuelan, dad Salvadorian and French, born in New York. And that's just where it starts. So it started complicated living in Venezuela, but then eventually went to France. And that's where I started working on film. My love for film probably started as well, like when I went to France. So I started working in the industry in France. But at that time, France was just very French, maybe too much for me. And so
What does that mean?
It's just to speak English or even Spanish, like it's even less. Like it's very rare moments where you have the occasion to speak another language in France. And so with the whole background, I needed to get out. And eventually that's how I landed here in New York 11 years ago in 2015.
But you still make foreign films.
Yeah, I think it's like I needed to leave to be able to like use all those languages and this culture and all that. And then after a few years of being in the US, now I'm trying to go back a little bit, working on French films as well. Like I went to Saudi Arabia last fall as well to shoot a horror feature film. Now I try to just go to the next step for me, which is to other countries as well, to support like foreign films, but also American films abroad.
So, what informs you on making these decisions to choose films, or do people come to you? Or how is that decision made for you?
Yeah, a lot of times people come to me, and if there is enough work to go around, I do have sometimes the luxury to be able to choose one film or the other. I try to go for, like, I really like working with first time directors. I like working with, obviously, Latino and Latina directors, like for here in hurricane season. And then apart from that is those questions of identity, of the Latin identity, but also migration, especially here in the US, and it's even more important in this last few years. Um, so when I can, I try as much as possible to choose like that. And sometimes I just accept the job because I need to accept the job, but still.
So, right. So, when you say accept a job, I'm going to assume that's more on the AD side, right? The assistant directing side.
Yeah.
Like, so share with us, the viewers, so those who may not know, the difference between directing, assistant directing, and then producing, right? Because those are all different roles that you serve in. And then there is the producing side, which I understand from our conversation prior to getting on air, is something that you really have to feel passionate about in order to jump on in that capacity.
Yes, like the director really is the person that will carry a vision, like depending on where it is. In France, usually the director is also the writer. It's a bit of more different in the US, but sometimes it is as well, especially in indies. But so the director carries that vision by basically making decisions day to day, be it the decoration of a set, be it the shots that are going to be filmed, or more specifically, the direction of actors. The assistant director, which is something that I really love doing, which usually is a job that's very, very stressful, but for some reason I don't really seem to stress that much when I'm on set, is kind of a conductor. Like the first assistant director calls the shots when we are going to move on from one to the other. It's the loudest voice on set, and it's also the more central to set. Like the assistant director will always be gravitating around camera and the actors, and we'll call for roll sound, roll camera. Sometimes we'll call the action if the director is a bit further away on Video Village and things like that.
Yeah,
And
the assistant director has to have a certain level of contained power in order to manage everything.
Yeah, I think the cliche sometimes of the assistant director is a person that yells on set and screams on people to go faster. And I've found that actually, like, the opposite is true. Yes, the voice needs to be loud, but it's a question of motivating. I see it almost as the host of a circus show that just announces what things are going to be done. It's transparency, it's motivation, is let's get all the troops to go and do that shot and move on and have a nice, not too long of a day.
But you just sound so soft-spoken that I can't visualize you being like, well, I saw an image of you with a bullhorn. Do you use bullhorn?
I use the bullhorn when I have a lot of extras, for sure. But I used to act in France in theater, so more plays, and so I can project my voice in a way that is heard by everyone without having to scream. Otherwise, I would not have a voice after a few days.
Got it. Right. So there's that aspect of training as well.
Yes,
Now,
that's true.
as far as your role as a producer, especially for this particular project that we're going to discuss, hurricane season.
Yeah, like as we were saying earlier, so the producers have different hats, and you find different kind of producers. And so the kind of producer that I am is more of a creative producer, where I'm more specialized in what happens on set, also per my work as an assistant director. And so I facilitate, in this specific case, like I facilitated doing the first schedule and the first budget, and then I accompany this up until we do get an actual line producer. Which here we had two different lamp producers who were amazing, co-producers as well, Alex Power and Ariel Anexi, and I accompany and help making those decisions. Like the producer, regardless of the hat they're wearing, the producer is here to accompany the film and help, sometimes hiring crew, making some decisions of locations, also talent sometimes, because we can have a lot of different choices, and it's helping make the right decision for the film, keeping always the story and the vision of the director in mind. And so for me, it started then when I had the first script that I had to do a schedule and a budget for, all the way until eventually we started production. In that one, I kind of had to split because I decided to also be the assistant director on the film, which a bit schizophrenic, a bit heavy, a lot of pressure, but it's not something that I give away easily, the assistant director job. It's something that I really enjoy. And I do feel that with the producer's voice as well, I'm able to help even more the director, Nicole Gomez Fisher, but also with the notes from the writer, Javier Ortiz. The three of us being producers on the project. So wearing each two hats.
Right. Everybody, right. But that's beautiful. And I'm going to assume you were the AD both in the New York location and the Puerto Rico location?
Yes. Yeah, in New York, we did 4 days and then another 21 in Puerto Rico. And what was great with New York is I was able to bring my usual crew. And it was a mix a bit of my usual crews, of Nicole's usual crews, of Alex Pispao's usual crews as well. And then in Puerto Rico to just discover a whole new crew, a whole new family as well on the island.
Nice, because you hired out there.
Yes.
Beautiful. And so just for our viewers to get the gist of what we're discussing, I mean, we were discussing the technical aspect, but let's give them a little background on the film that we're talking about that is currently in post-production.
Currently post-production, yeah. Hurricane Seasons it's really a story about women. Our lead character, Gloria Camacho, played by Aida Rodriguez, lives in Brooklyn but has her family still on the island, and her mother, played by Priscilla Lopez, amazing in the film as well, has some kind of medical problems. So Gloria Camacho comes with her own daughter on the island, and from then on it kind of becomes this intergenerational comedy drama road trip, mostly with a cast of women. Like most of our days were at least 5 to 6 different amazing actresses, and then our Carlos Ponce, our Irving Nolasco, and all them. So yeah, going on this road trip on a blue Volky all around the island.
Beautiful. We need stories like that, and we need our stories out there like that. So thank you for producing it, and thank you for bringing it here to our viewers to get a little glimpse of what's in store, because I hope to have you all back on as we get closer to its final pieces. Now, is there anything you want to share with our viewers that pertains to this particular project, and even more so our community understanding the importance of telling our stories as well as moving our stories forward?
Yeah, I think that's what was important for us as well. Like obviously the script that Javier Ortiz wrote is just beautiful. It's the kind of script where you laugh, you cry. It's a very moving story, but beyond that, it was also important for us just because it's the eternal question of representation of Latinos and Latinas in the film industry, especially in the U.S., Puerto Rico being a part of it, as we're reminded again and again by our friend Bad Bunny. But it was important for us because even though we do make up to 20% of this country's population, we're still 5 to 7% of representation of characters that are ours on screen. And most of the time as well, these characters are actually more served by stereotypes most of the time. And so really like the path that we have to go to is two different paths. One, representation when it doesn't really matter, is having characters that are just played by Latinos because it doesn't matter. Like it should just be, and we're saying Latinos, but just all the other communities as well. It's like, if it doesn't specifically matter for the story, make it diverse. Like that's how America looks like.
Right.
And then the other one is choosing our own stories as well. And that is also being very precise that choosing our own stories doesn't mean that we're putting all the other communities aside. It's reminding people that for decades we have watched ourselves films that were, it's Aladdin, you know, in like this invented Arabic world, and it's animals is what it's Avatar. Like,
Right.
Are we navy? Are we blue? We're
Right.
not, but we can still identify with characters because the more specific we go, the more universal we'll get.
Right.
And so in the story like this one specifically, it's specifically Puerto Rican, it's specifically the diaspora of Puerto Rico, because it's also even more within the Latin community, is even more diverse because we have people that stayed on the island all their lives, people that left, people that stayed and then left, and then also came back, and also with different levels of Spanish speaking as well. Like the language is very important, specifically in this film, but a lot for me. And so it's that as well. It's the more specific we get, everyone goes through the problems and the themes of this film.
Well, I appreciate you breaking it down for us the way you did, because really what you're saying is our stories are universal.
Yes,
They're
sir.
just, you know, specific to a particular character or location, and even maybe language, but at the end of the day, we're all human beings and we all feel the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, Anthony James Faure, we were just talking a little bit about hurricane seasons. That's going to be coming soon. We're going to learn more about it with time. So if you're interested in learning more about Anthony, you can visit his website at anthonyjamesfaure.com. And for the upcoming dramedy that we were just discussing, you can find updates on their IG account at hurricane_seasons. All right, stay tuned. There's more open when we return.
We're gonna start the show right now. This is my favorite part. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hey, this is Angel, and I am one of the instructor for the in-studio production. Here at Bronxnet, we offer classes that can help you elevate, expand, and start your television career. All you have to do is sign up at bronxnet.org/education. For the past 7 years, I have been in various productions, spanning from talk shows, independent films, news reports, art displays, teachings, musical performances, and many more. Ain't that right, Angel? Yeah, you're absolutely right, Angel. There are a lot of creative individuals that we're just waiting to sign up for the class. And if I may, can I also express that? Thank you, Angel. That's all the time we have left. Visit bronxnet.org/education and become a producer by taking the course. The class I offer is also in English, en español y también bilingüe. Nos vemos en la próxima clase.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. My next guest is an East Harlem native, daughter of Dominican immigrants, and a dedicated advocate for empowering individuals through mindful movement and holistic practices. After sustaining a severe back injury, her own personal journey sparked a passion for yoga and its transformative power. And this experience led her to create a space where others could also discover the healing and strength that yoga provides. So, she established Ofrenda Yoga Studio, a bilingual studio that opened in East Harlem in late 2024 to promote physical wellness, mental clarity, and spiritual rejuvenation. And here to share more about a journey to better health, we welcome yoga fitness instructor and Ofrenda Yoga Studio owner, Jazmin Tejada. Hello and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, congratulations. I know we're like a year and a half in, but
Yeah.
still, that's a huge undertaking to open up your own business.
Yeah,
How's it been?
it's going. I'm surviving. Every day I survive is like, it's a win. It's going really great. It's a lot of work, but it's going really well, and it's totally worth it.
All right, so let's start with the name of the studio, Ofrenda. Why Ofrenda Yoga Studio?
Ofrenda, because when you practice is an offering to your future self, to your higher self, and when you teach is an offering as you're guiding the class or the students through their practice. So offering, ofrenda.
Nice. And then, of course, once again, we're teaching individuals Spanish in the process.
Right.
Right.
Got to keep it in the community, right? If we're in the community, then we have to keep the language alive.
Yeah, absolutely. And also honor ourselves in the
Absolutely.
process, right?
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that I notice about your studio that really makes it inviting is the lighting. So let's talk about everything that Ofrenda offers and how you have been deliberate in certain choices that you've made, because I was paying attention to all that because it does matter.
It absolutely matters. Every decision that I've made or that we've made so far has been very intentional. Nothing has been arbitrary. We're not just like, yeah, just do that because it's there. The rooms looking the way they look is intentional because nobody wants to be in a spotlight when you're trying something new, right? And we're in a community where yoga is a new idea, a new concept, even though it's been around forever. But for us, we're not the first yoga studio in East Harlem, but we're the only Latina-owned studio in all of Harlem. And we're the ones that have been around maybe a little bit longer than others. So we've been intentional about the lighting because we don't want to put anybody on the spot. We want you to feel comfortable. We want you to kind of get into your internal self versus the external and, be distracted by extra stuff that's unnecessary.
I can tell there was a big investment made into it because, first of all, how many rooms do you have?
We have 2 yoga rooms.
You have 2 yoga rooms. One of them is hot yoga.
One of them is heated with infrared heaters, and one of them is not.
And so, and then the rooms are blue, right? I think we have images to accompany what we're discussing so that people can get the gist of what we're talking about. And they're blue, and then it looks like the lighting is like on the bottom so that you're lightly dimmed, right? So you're kind of like experiencing this where everything is visible, but not necessarily, like you said, under a spotlight.
Right. It's done that way so that you can still see. It's important that if you're in there practicing and moving around with a bunch of people that you can see what you're doing and you're spacing, but that you're just seeing silhouettes. You're not seeing like people's faces or like people go through transformations in these classes, and it's important that they feel safe enough to be able to get themselves there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, because it could be intimidating.
Absolutely.
Especially if it's your first time trying it.
Yes.
Now, walk us through what the schedule looks like and the different levels.
Yeah, so we've been open, since we opened in September of 24, we've only been closed one day, and it was because of the snowstorm recently. So we've been open through holidays. We always have at least one class on the schedule. We're open 7 days a week. We have 7 a.m. classes, 9 a.m. classes, lunchtime classes, and evening classes. We have heated, non-heated. All classes cater to all levels, so it doesn't matter if you've been practicing for 20 years or if you've been practicing for your first time, right? We make sure that everyone feels safe. We teach in a way where everyone can do something, because that's usually what I hear is like, I want to go take a yoga class, but I'm not flexible or I can't touch my toes. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
So do you have the blocks?
Absolutely. We have blocks, we have straps, we have bolsters, we have blankets, we have all the things.
Okay, so you have all the equipment as well.
Yes.
Right, so all the person needs to do is show up.
All you have to do is show up. We have lockers, smart lockers. You don't even need a lock. You can just come, lock your stuff away. You don't have to worry about your shoes leaving without you, because we're still in Harlem, right? You don't have to worry about your shoes leaving without you. We get in there, the front door gets locked if the teacher is the only one there, and it becomes a super safe space.
And so now, right, especially because it's winter, how would you encourage a person to explore and even just try it?
I honestly say just get there. Get to the studio. Whether you decide to do the class, whether you decide to take a nap, whether you decide whatever, doesn't matter. Get to the studio, because that's the hardest part. Once you're at the studio, whatever you do is what you do. As long as you're there and you breathe, everything else is a bonus.
Yeah, no, I get it, right? Because
and once you're there, you see what's going on, and you're like, oh, and I like this song, I'm gonna do it. You know, you give yourself the opportunity to explore.
Right, but it's exactly what you're saying. It's the getting there. It's
That's the hardest part.
Because it's that actually prevents you from being disciplined, right? So I would love for you to share a little bit about your story so that people understand, I guess, why yoga has been your choice in discipline and how it's helped you and the benefits from it as well.
Yeah. So I started practicing over 20 years ago. I'm aging myself, but over 20 years ago, I started out of curiosity. 20 years ago, Google wasn't a thing, right? So you couldn't just Google things.
Right.
I kept seeing the word yoga popping up everywhere, and I was like, what's yoga? I grew up playing sports and being an athlete, so I knew that I can handle physicality, right? So I signed up for a class, and I show up, I take the class, I hate it. I absolutely hated it. I was like, this is so boring. Why do people do this? This is whack. I'm out of here. Another 6 months passed by, and I was like, oh, another studio. Maybe it's different, right? Because maybe it was the teacher. You don't know. I take a class again, and I was like, I don't know. I kind of like the little yoga high you get from it, from the breathing. And then I was like, but I don't know if it's for me. The long story short is that I take a few classes in a span of time, and then I found a studio that I liked. So I always recommend to people, like, whether it's at Ofrenda or anywhere else, if you're interested in yoga, take a few different classes with different teachers, because something might click. Like, you might not like it right away, or you might click with the teacher, you might click with the music. Something is going to click for you. I used to be a dancer. I used to be a professional salsera. And one night I slipped and fell in the shower, and I severely hurt my back.
Ouch.
And so when I went to PT, they pretty much had me doing yoga. And I was like, pero pa yo pagate a ti, I can just go to a yoga class, right? So I started taking yoga classes more frequently at the studio that I liked. And it just became like my personal me time.
That's beautiful, and thank you for sharing your personal story. And the reason even what you were just sharing with regards to PT and how they basically what they're doing is stretching you.
Yeah.
They're stretching you, right? And so the practice of yoga is you disciplining yourself to stretch yourself, which I think is like mandatory as you age. Yeah, I'm going there too, right? Because I'm a swimmer. And just with what you're saying, it's like it's just the getting out the door to get to the studio to actually attend the class.
That's a big part of why we exist too. I got a little tired of having to go downtown to take classes because now it's no longer just the 1 hour class. Now it's the hour to get there, the hour for the class, the
Right.
hour and a half to get back. That's my whole afternoon. So I was like, I need something a little closer, and I need something that I feel safe walking into, that I feel seen walking into, because what happens a lot when we go downtown is that we don't look like everybody else, so they automatically like just discount us or treat us different or make us just feel unwelcomed, even though you're paying the same amount as everybody else to
That's
be
so
there.
fascinating, right? It's just fascinating how that pertains to like everything.
Yep.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Anyway, we don't have to get into all of that. No, but it's beautiful that you've also taken that into consideration. I mean, at this point, you're like, yo, I got the spot. It's my spot. But
Right. It's like now I have my spot. I
Right.
walk in, or anyone walks in, and you're gonna hear, depending on if I'm feeling really Dominican that day, you might hear típico playing, you might hear some salsa playing, you might hear some dembow, reggaeton, you're gonna hear some R&B. You're gonna listen to like our sounds, so you automatically feel welcomed from the moment you walk in. And if you walk in and take a nap, then that's your practice, and that's maybe what you need today.
right.
You know?
Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's so, all right. So I know you said the hours and everything, but just before we go, I want you to repeat it so that they understand what's available for them here, uptown, baby, uptown.
Hey. Of course. So we're open 7 days a week. We have classes throughout the day, early morning, lunchtime, always in the evening. We're open Saturday and Sunday early. About noon is our last class, is when we close, so that we can have events if necessary during the evenings. We have 2 rooms, heated and non-heated. We're heated to about 90, 95. Usually people hear heated and they think Bikram yoga, which is extremely hot. We're not that hot. It doesn't have to be that hot for you to feel the heat and get the benefits of it. We keep it between 90 and 95. We're not going to force anybody to do anything that doesn't feel right for them. We encourage autonomy. You know your body. You know what feels right for you. You know what doesn't. We're going to encourage you to push beyond your comfort level, right? Because that's the purpose, is to expand and grow and, elevate. But that's pretty much it. We're not going to force you into anything, or if napping is what you need, do that. If resting is what you need, if water is what you need, listen to your body.
You're hilarious. I know. I'm saying she's hilarious because she's like, listen, I have the space, and we're inviting you to come do yoga. Pero if you have to go to the back and grab a mat and take a nap, then so be it.
One of my favorite students, every time I get to practice in the room with her, like someone else is teaching, if she comes in and she's tired, she will face plant and just lay there. And it's like nobody bothers her. She's just laying face down on the mat, feeling the heat. And it's like, you know what? You're listening to your body, because that's what your body needs right now. It doesn't need to sweat more. It doesn't need to be pushed. It needs rest. And if you feel safe resting here, then rest.
That's beautiful. Well, kudos to you for
Thank you.
creating a safe space.
Thank you.
Yeah. And of course, a holistic practice where we're talking everything. Ofrenda Yoga Studio, Jazmin Tejada, who's the owner. And if you're interested in practicing yoga, you can check out Ofrenda Yoga Studio, at ofrendayogastudio.com. And that's where you'll find all the scheduling and the different styles of yoga and all that jazz. All right, stay tuned because there's more open when we return.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. "55% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. "34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. Bronxnet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the Bronxnet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit bronxnet.org to learn more.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. Our next guest was born and raised right here in the birthplace of hip hop, the BX, that's right, who during the pandemic at the tender age of 7 landed a role that would place her on this path to success. Having no prior voiceover experience, she secured the leading voiceover role of Alma in the PBS animated series Alma's Way, created by Sonia Manzano, now in its 3rd season. And she also made her on-camera film debut as Elaine in the indie film Brownsville Bred, directed by Elaine Del Valle, now Oscar qualified and currently streaming on Apple and Prime. And she's also earned several major accolades, including a Rising Star Award from the International Puerto Rican Film Festival and Best Voiceover Actor from the Imagen Foundation. And now she is up for her first Emmy Award nomination for her voiceover performance in Alma's Way. Let's take a look at Alma's Way.
Junior looks so sad. None of his styles turned out like he wanted them to. But why? I gotta think about this. The flowy bedhead and ponytail hairstyles all worked on my hair. But the styles didn't look the same on my friends as they looked on me.
Not every style works on my hair.
What did Howard mean by that? Howard's hair is short with small curls. My hair is thick and wavy with big curls. Becca has straight hair, and Yolette's hair is braided and twisted. All our hair is different. That's it. I know what to do.
Oh my gosh, how cute. It doesn't matter how many times I watch this program. Oh, I just feel the same way. Anywho, here to share what makes her such an awesome kid. Please welcome actress and artiste, Summer Rose Castillo.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh my gosh. So just watching that right now, do you feel any kind of way when you hear your voice and watch that yourself? Well, I mean, obviously it's a character, an animated character, but you've kind of grown with the character. Even though she's remained the same age.
Absolutely, yes. It definitely feels a little bit weird to hear my voice because, I'm like, wow, okay, that's my voice. But at the same time, I feel proud because it reminds me of all of the work that I've done and all of the work that these beautiful people have helped me with. And I just get so proud and I just get so happy because she's such a joyful little Puerto Rican girl from the Bronx. I'm Puerto Rican as well, and Nicaraguan, and I'm from the Bronx. So it's a really happy moment whenever I hear it.
I love it. And so what has that been like for you? I mean, you got this role during the pandemic, right? I mean, you auditioned for it. You never had any voiceover experience. What, were you shooting this in the closet?
No, it was something like that. But yes, it was during COVID. And
what do you mean it was something like that?
It was something like that. because my dad had built like a home studio, and it was like in the corner of my living room, and it was like a big booth, and we had setups in there, we had cameras, we had everything. And if you walked into my house, all you saw was this big gigantic booth, and I was like, yeah, that's where I worked. So it was something like that, but it was definitely a crazy time. I had no practice, but I did have my mom, so I had some guidance. And also, I was just like, you know what? Okay, I'm 7, but it's a voiceover actor, so let's just have fun with it, and let's see where this goes.
Wow, so 7, you're now 13, right? Let's take everybody on a quick trip through your trajectory already at 13.
Already.
Yeah, okay, right, yeah, I mean, come on. So, yeah, I mean, you're one of the stars of Elaine del Valle's Brownsville Bred, right, which was a short film that turned into a feature film that had a national tour. Well, I don't know if we would consider it tour, but it had national distribution, right? And is now Oscar qualified.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you were how old when you shot that?
I believe I was around 8 years old, so it was like a year after Alma's Way. I was still pretty young, but let's just say that was an experience of a lifetime. For an 8-year-old, it was so magical, and shout out to Elaine, she was just amazing. But to be on a set like that was just a blessing.
Okay, so that was your first on-camera role,
Yes.
right? And then from there, you got cast on Equalizer alongside Queen Latifah.
Yes.
OMG.
OMG. That was, wow. Meeting her, she was such an amazing person. And yes, that was my first time, and then that was my second time.
Well, one's film, the other's TV now.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're two different, but they were still both on camera.
Yes.
And because of Brownsville Bred, I was like, okay, I kind of have the gist of this. And meeting Queen Latifah, wow. I was shocked, but it was such an amazing time.
That's so awesome.
Yes, it was so awesome.
I would be like, oh, fangirling myself. Yeah, trust me. And so, okay, so here you are. I mean, you know, I did a fast forward to 13, but between 7 and now, you've done all this acting, and you have to memorize the lines for even the animations, even though, you know, you get to do it off camera, you have to memorize it somewhat, right? So you're memorizing lines for that, films, TV. That's a lot of work, and you go to school.
Oh, yes, school, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
You're like, yeah, I do that too. So when do you have any time off, and what do you do on your time off?
I did have a lot of breaks, like when we weren't recording, I would just kind of take time to myself, and my favorite way to do that is by art. When I tell you art is like a therapy for me, it's just the way that you can have so much freedom and creativity on one piece of paper. It's so amazing to me. So drawing and painting is definitely what I do.
Let's
for my
talk about the
spare
one
time.
we're looking at right now.
Oh, yes, that one. My mom helped me with that one. It's actually inspired by Bad Bunny. Shout out to Bad Bunny. And I wanted to do something Spanish themed and bring my Puerto Rican side out. And I did flowers, I did Puerto Rican flag, I did coquilles, which is a big part. And that one, I'm really proud of that one.
Oh, that is that's gorgeous. And you're self-taught?
Yes, I am self-taught. And that one, wow, that one was a little time ago, but I had taken a photo in my mom's room, surprisingly, and I just felt really cool, so I took like a photo, but the way like the photo had been, I just wanted to take like a drawing of it, and I wanted to add my own taste to it, add some like graffiti and just some details.
So that's like a self-portrait.
Yes, kind of like a self-portrait.
And again, you're self-taught.
Yes, I'm self-taught. YouTube helped me as well.
Yeah, but still, this is you practicing this on your free time. Mm-hmm. Yep. Amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. All right, so you are a well-rounded artiste. Yes. We love
thank
that.
you.
We love that.
What's that title?
Oh my goodness. And so, all right, so that's what you do on your spare time.
Yes.
And then there's all these awards you've already received, and not to mention the one that you're nominated for, but let's work up to that, because first you won an Imagen Award. Well, recently, I want to say you won the International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival Rising Star Award, right?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, and you were alongside like these major celebrities. You're always alongside these major celebrities at such a young age. What's that like for you?
It is so amazing, and it's kind of like a dream sometimes, because you're like, okay, I'm next to this person who has made such an impact on the world, and many people know them, and the fact that I'm standing right next to them at such a young age, it's like, wow, okay, let me take it all in.
Oh, we're looking at you and Justina Machado at the Imagen Awards.
I love that one so much. She was such a sweetheart, and I love her show One Day at a Time. She was so amazing.
And Aida Rodriguez.
Oh,
and
definitely.
actually, both of them are in the film that we were just discussing in the previous
that's
segment.
right.
Yes, the hurricane seasons. Oh, look, there's you with Joe Torres.
Oh,
and
oh my gosh.
That was the International Puerto Rican Heritage Film Festival.
That was such an amazing moment. I love all of those moments, and they were all just like an amazing time with all of these
Look at
amazing
you.
people.
Oh my gosh, already. And then, of course, that's when you won the Imagen Award. Well, you were also nominated for an Imagen Award in 2024 as well. You won the 2022, and you were nominated for the 2024.
Yes.
And then...
And then...
That's right, man. You say it. Now you're nominated for...
The Emmy!
Yes.
I'm so excited for that one. I'm so excited. Like, oh my gosh. I still can't even believe it's happening, but it is. So...
I know. I'm here with you.
Oh my gosh.
I'm here with you. So what was that like when you first learned, right? Because you're nominated for what they call the Family and Children's Emmy, right?
Yes.
So talk to us about when you were told that you were even nominated, and did you even know that you were going to be nominated?
Absolutely not. I had no idea. I didn't even know there was a family and friend one, but my family is like, we watch the Emmys, we watch the SAG Awards, we watch all of those. And we were at home, we were relaxing, and we got a call from one of the producers on Alma's Way, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, where's Summer? Where's Summer?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm right here. What happened?" And I was so excited, I was so confused, and they said, "You are nominated for an Emmy." When I tell you, I screamed of joy, and I started running around all over the place, because I was like, I've watched this for like almost all of my life, and I've told my mom, we're gonna get there, Mom, we're gonna get there. And for those words to just come out of that phone was, oh my gosh, such an ecstatic moment.
I would imagine so, because you're like only 13.
Exactly. Like,
I want to be nominated for an Emmy, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna get there. Oh, Mom, we're there.
Yeah, we're there. Okay, let's go.
I love it. So, do you know what you're gonna wear and everything?
I don't want to give spoilers, but it's gonna be a very nice dress, and it is inspired by the Lady Gaga and the Bad Bunny performance for the halftime show. Her dress was beautiful, so it's gonna be inspired off of that. And yeah.
Okay, no spoiler alerts, but I'm gonna give you that much.
Yeah.
And then it's also going to be at the Jazz at Lincoln Center, right?
Yes.
So you're going to be walking the red carpet down at Lincoln Center.
Rocking that red carpet, totally. I'm practicing in the mirror right now.
You're practicing?
Mm-hmm.
Que linda, because that's what you do. You rehearse, memorize lines, and refine. And that's what you are. You're already refined at 13 years old. Amazing. We're so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank
Summer
you so
Rose.
much.
I mean, on a personal level, I've been watching you develop, but for our viewers, she's representing the PX and our Latinidad, American style.
American style.
Well, because we're part of the fabric.
Yep, we
Yeah.
are. We got to represent all of them.
Yeah, so what do you want to say to some of the young viewers that may be watching?
Ooh, stay tuned for everything that is happening. And if you have dreams, please follow it. Even if you're 7 years old, 13 years old, or if you're any age, just follow your dreams. No one can tell you no. It's your dream.
And she's a living example of that, okay? Because you're never too young to start, and you're never too old to start either. All right, once again, Summer Rose Castillo.
Thank you.
Emmy nominated Summer Rose Castillo.
Thank you.
And for you guys interested in following her journey, you can follow her on Instagram at @SummerRose_Castillo. All right, stay tuned. There's more open when we return. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Open. Our open artist for today is a lifelong musician and composer whose passion has led to the creation of a unique nonprofit called Musicians Teach Music, an organization offering free online music education programs that provide curriculum and learning opportunities for classrooms, homeschoolers, and independent learners. It's a go-to source for musical learning for kids, adults, beginners, and a therapeutic resource. And this organization goes beyond online learning and brings music into classrooms, hospitals, nursing homes, memory care, and community spaces because they understand the power and healing effects music brings to our lives. Everyone, let's take a look at Musicians Teach Music.
Welcome to Musicians Teach Music, a New York-based nonprofit music education program offering free, accessible music curriculum for classrooms, homeschoolers, and independent learners. Founded by a New York State certified music teacher and co-created with professional educators and performers, Musicians Teach Music provides free, standards-based online learning at musiciansteachmusic.org. Our journal page features gifted musicians sharing their love of music, along with sheet music, music history lessons, and creative learning sessions designed to inspire you to play, sing, and participate. Musicians Teach Music celebrates and supports musicians through our online program and through in-person visits to hospitals, assisted living, nursing, and memory care facilities. We're here to share the joy and healing power of making music together. Visit musiciansteachmusic.org and begin your musical journey with us.
How beautiful, right? All right, without further ado, everyone, please welcome today's open artist, director and founder of Musicians Teach Music, Holley Bartlett. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
What a lovely concept.
Thank you. I so appreciate it. Thank you.
And you know, I recognize somebody in the video, Dr. Wright.
You were just mentioning as we were watching that, yeah.
Well, we've had her in our Open Artist Spotlight. She's an amazing violinist.
She's incredible, yeah.
And so she's part
tremendous.
of your roster?
Yes, like our little repertory company right now that we hope to just expand as we move forward, you know, to grow and expand and also maintain. So artists that you appreciate, that you see there, we want to keep them coming back and sharing their musical gifts, whether online or in outreach, in actual person events as well.
So I just because I'm familiar with Dr. Wright and her work, I just want to talk a little bit about the fact that I remember when we had her on, she created this medley that was really phenomenal. She's very unique. She has a very, very, very unique style that that stands out. And so in your selection of artists that you work with, is there a certain qualification that you look for in providing services to the individuals who are going to the website to learn from?
The qualification, it started out with colleagues and friends, and so they happen to be professional music educators or performers. But these qualifications can expand because I would like this to become more diverse in the sense of, I mean, I've seen amazing musicians at Grand Central Station. I've seen them in the subways. So where right now, you know, founded by a licensed educator, but moving forward, as well as keeping the professionals teaching, I would like everyone to appreciate that they can make music too. And if you see musicians and you hear them on the streets of New York, they can have a voice too. You know, I'd like to reach out to them and have them share their music as well. And then all these little modules online talk about the particular piece, like Dr. Wright, you know, offered her specific pieces, and then I, you know, with assistance from the artists, you know, write up the educational aspect and the learning aspect of the piece and provide resources and sheet music and opportunities to participate in all those modules.
Right, so it's basically you can learn at your own pace.
Absolutely.
And so in addition to that, I also understand that you offer free sheet music that people can print up. And so I'm just curious to know how you're able to sustain this and offer it for free.
Good question. Well, this has been a very, very grassroots project. So this has been a kitchen table project for me, in between working. So, family and friends have really helped out. There's a donation page where, they've chipped in to keep the website up, to support our musicians who offer this, their beautiful skills and talents. But then moving forward, as we build and as we provide in-person outreach, which is what I've been doing with memory care facilities in particular, the hope is to, find funders and grants and organizations that align with our mission and find it inspirational and would like to partner with us, because then we could really expand. We could, the website is very small right now, but with the hope of growing and with the hope of more and more outreach. I was in a nursing home yesterday, and one of the residents was like, I hope you come back soon. And I do too, because it's so rehabilitative and miraculous what music can do. So I just hope that there's more of it, that it's not just icing on the cake, but rather starting to be appreciated for the health benefits.
Right, the health benefits of it, which is why you work with memory care facilities, right?
Yes.
And so just before we go, just explain to everyone why it's so important for you to keep it free for everyone to access.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm talking about the online, obviously, whatever arrangements are with the facilities is different arrangement, but just the fact that you've actually made these programs available to people, to anyone.
Well, it's a friend and I were talking, she's actually on the board. This is also an all-women's run program right now. It's something we would have wanted, we would have appreciated, coming from, a childhood in New York City, coming home, inspired by music, and like your daughter who goes to music school, I went to music school as well, performing arts. I would have loved to have gone home. I think we create things with what we would have loved and wanted, so I would have loved that, and I would have wanted it very easily accessible, free, and it's right there. There's no subscription, there's no payment, and it should be just for everyone, and I hope that our artists and educators can inspire anyone at any age as well to pick up your instrument or sing, participate in any way that you can right away.
Right, it's a collective effort,
Yeah.
right, to transmit that energy into the universe.
Absolutely.
Through music.
Absolutely.
We heal each other.
Exactly.
I love it, and thank you for bringing up my daughter, because she was so excited when I
That's
introduced
so
her to
lovely.
the website.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank
I'm
you
glad.
for bringing it here to us on Open. And you guys, once again, Holley Bartlett from Musicians Teach Music. And when we return, Annie Chester from Musicians Teach Music is going to sing along to Always. She's going to sing Always to an accompaniment of Holley's piano sounds. Yeah, I got that right finally. Don't go anywhere. Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. Here now to sing Always to an accompaniment of Holley's piano sounds. Please welcome singer Annie Chester from Musicians Teach Music.
I'll be loving you always, with a love that's true always. When
Chester, everyone. Brava, brava. I love that song. My daughter sings that song all the time. All right, you guys, once again, be sure to follow Holley and Musicians Teach Music on Instagram at musicians_teach_music. Again, this is all for Musicians Teach Music, and their QR code, if you're interested in contributing as a musician and or in whatever way you can, please scan the QR code on the screen, and you can also go to their website at musiciansteachmusic.org. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through, and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out this episode throughout the weekend, 24 hours a day at Bronxnet.tv. I'm Rena Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide paz, prosperity, y amor. And we continue to honor Black History Month, mi gente. So happy Black History Month, and be love. Adios, everybody. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.